Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to the Humble Horologist channel. My name's Anthony, and I really like watches. If you like watches, you know that few names symbolize inexpensive throwaway watches any better than the name Timex. Now, don't get offended if you are a Timex fanboy or fangirl. I know Timex makes solid timepieces that are nothing to laugh at. I'm also keenly aware of the long, storied history of Timex, a company forever associated with American watchmaking. But let's be honest, Timex has also made a lot of watches over the years that were not meant to be heirlooms. The fact that I have several vintage Timex watches going back to 1958 is not due to their robust build, but more like a lack of being worn, or just pure luck. The more I learn about the differences between inexpensive watches and those that are meant to last a lifetime, the more I understand why some things cost more than others. The differences can be found as much in the use of better materials and serviceable movements as unique design and quality finishing. And that is why it is very encouraging to see that Timex has decided to make watches that are meant not only to last, but to be worthy of being called an heirloom. A few years back, Timex, in collaboration with Georgia Galli, released a premium dress watch called the S1, and it was a beauty. It was certainly a game changer, but to be honest, it just didn't get a lot of press. It wasn't cheap either. And since Timex was still just Timex, well, most people I've ever talked with felt uneasy paying a premium price for it. Later, after listening to their fans, Timex came out with a smaller version of the S1, the creatively named S2. It was a 38 millimeter instead of a 41, and even boasted of a sapphire crystal. And the next version was the S2 Ti, a $2,000 limited edition titanium one. And all of these are dress watches too, and that's worth noting. But now, out of the mind of Georgia Galli, comes a brand new watch from Timex, the Atelier Marine M1a, a 41 millimeter work of art meant to appeal to the broader watch-loving market, those who love dive watches. This watch is getting attention. Who would have ever considered spending $1,050 on a watch that had Timex printed on the dial? Well, more than a few, as it appears. And frankly, if I had the extra money, I would give it a serious consideration myself. For me, it's hard to say which part of the watch captivated my attention first. There's just so much going on with this watch that it is no wonder that Georgia Galli is quoted as saying, Timex Atelier is designed to be discovered slowly over time. So let's start with what might be the most unique design feature, and that is the skeletonized case. Personally, and this is just my opinion, I can't stand skeletonized dials on a watch. I don't own one, and I probably never will. But this case turns the word skeletonized on its side, literally. The outside of the case is 316L stainless, while the inside is quote-unquote reinforced by a plated mid-case, whatever that means. How and with what it's plated is something I've yet to find out. But now let's look at the bracelet. The skeletonized look is replicated in the sides of each link. Now that's just cool. It's a premium addition to what is already an ingenious bracelet that's making waves of its own. Timex has created a bracelet that needs no tools to adjust the links. That's right. We're not talking about quick release lugs. We're talking about quick changing links. No screws, no push pins, nothing like that. If there was nothing else to praise about this new Timex, though, it would still be pretty special. But there is more, believe it or not. This is not a Timex built in China or Singapore. This is a Swiss-made watch. That's right, a Swiss-made Timex with a Swiss-made automatic movement. Heck, it even has Swiss Luminova on the bezel and the dial. And then there's the dial. What a beautiful dial it is. Gloss black enamel that reflects like a black mirror. The dial is surrounded by a brushed stainless ring, which is notched out just a little for each of the framed and loom filled indices. The printing on the dial is subtle, letting the loom filled hands and indices receive the attention they rightfully deserve, each one with a slight green hue that matches the loom on the ceramic bezel. Looking at the bezel, we can see even more detail unique to this watch. It's certainly not an off-the-shelf bezel. Just look at the horizontal engraving in which the loom pip is located. Not something you see every day. Everything is done so well, all of it reassuring you that this is not your grandfather's Timex. It's a Timex meant to erase preconceived perceptions and elevate a watch brand's status to that of near luxury. Are we looking at the birth of what could be called a grand Timex? I mean, seriously, don't you remember a time when people laughed at the idea of a four-figure Seiko? How much is a snowflake dial these days? Well, as time goes by, more and more guys will be able to review this watch in person and share more specific details. But even without having this watch in hand, I can tell you right now that what I've seen is enough to know people who live long after us are going to be inheriting these and not complaining that Grandpa only left them a Timex. So what do you think? Discuss in the comments. And until next time, thanks for stopping by. And remember, watches are replaceable. Time is not. God bless.